Hi, welcome to Cooking with Dr. B. I am Dr. KeriLyn Bollmann. I am a board-certified internal medicine doctor and integrative medicine doctor here in Phoenix, Arizona. And I have with me my best friend from first grade, Nikki, who's going to help me cook today. Today we're making a frittata. I wanted to start a cooking show because a lot of people really don't know how to cook, and they don't realize that cooking is really easy and accessible. And I realized that nutrition is really paramount to good health. So you can't have good health without having certain tenets, and one of those tenets includes good nutrition. Whole foods are the tenets of most diets. So most diets, whether you're keto or paleo or vegetarian or carnivore or South Beach or any of the other diets you've ever heard about, these diets have one thing in common, and it's not what they are eating, but it's what they're not eating, and that is processed food. And I think that that is what honestly makes most diets work. And so what I wanted to do here was really teach people that cooking is very accessible. It's very forgiving. If you mess up with one ingredient, you can add another, or you can do it over again. So with that in mind, whole foods will be the whole idea that is central to this show. We're gonna be cooking meats, we're gonna be cooking vegetables. A lot of people will focus on French cuisine or Italian cuisine. I'm just gonna focus on things that I like to cook and things that I think are fairly easy for other people to grasp and that include some health benefits. So that is what our whole goal is in the show, and we hope you enjoy it. Okay, smoke break's over. All right, so today we are making a frittata. And the reason we're making a frittata today is because this is a great breakfast that is very low carb for people that are watching carbohydrates or maybe have diabetes. And it also is a great way to use up a lot of the old vegetables that you have in your refrigerator and you're not quite sure what to do with them. The frittata is a very easy dish to make because there's no one thing that goes in there. And so Nikki's gonna show us how to do it. Take it away, Nikki.
Oh, yeah, right. I didn't even know what a frittata was. I can tell you what it's not. It's not a donut.
So Nikki thought, it's two things. It's either a bear claw or
a quiche.
A quiche, right. So you're very close to the quiche, right. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and turn this bad boy on, and it's gonna show us what it's made of. Okay. And so first you wanna heat up your pan. And did you know I had a boyfriend in college? And he was the one who taught me that I didn't have to put everything on high. So I used to have everything on high. And so one day I burned something. He's like, you know, you don't have to cook everything on high. And so that's when I learned that.
So what are we cooking this on?
We're on about 8, yeah. And I'm still learning the stove. Everybody's stove is different,
okay.
Right? So I'm really kind of feeling this pan just to see how it's heating up. This is induction. You may have gas, you may have electric. Everybody's cooktop is a little bit different, so you've just got to really get used to it. But the other thing that it's very important to Italians is that they don't burn their eggs. So probably what I'm going to do here is just heat this up a little high, and then I'll turn it down to 7. So, okay, so are you ready to crack some eggs?
I'm ready to crack. Is there a technique to cracking eggs?
Do you know how to crack eggs?
Well, I thought I did, but...
Okay, take it away.
All right.
Show us it. You're going to crack it right into that bowl. All right, so you want to commit. Good job. There you go. Okay, yeah, that's good. We should get another bowl for the, okay, right. We got a bowl. Okay, let's do another one.
All right. These are huge, by the way.
They are very large. I know, they're ostrich. Okay, there we go. Okay, we should say we washed hands before this.
I did wash hands.
Okay, so now you'll notice, oh, thank you for doing that. This is perfect.
Oh, you're welcome.
Opportunity for me to, it's a perfect opportunity. You know how to do it.
I do, right?
Exactly, so this is how to get out an egg. Or an egg shell, is that you use the other egg shell. Did you get it?
Yeah, but I was kind of...
Right on. Okay, that and the whole other egg. Do you want to learn how to do it one-handed?
Yes.
Okay, all right. I'm going to do my best, right? Okay, we'll see. So the key to do it one-handed, this is how to impress your friends. We may have to do a couple takes on this. The key to do this one-handed is that you want to really commit. You want to really kind of hit it hard. And then...
nice. Look at that. No shell.
No shell. Thank you.
You're
okay,
welcome.
so we'll just put a couple more of those in like that. I can already feel I'm gonna use about 6. Now, the other thing I should notice is you can do this with egg whites as well if you're watching your cholesterol. And so that is, okay, there you
really
go.
Want to emphasize
That's okay, how to get the shells out, right. Okay, look at that.
Right there.
Yeah, so that is such a great technique.
Okay.
Okay, and
keep
then,
going?
yeah, we'll probably do a couple more in there.
So there's not like a certain number you're doing for this?
Nope.
Can I use 2 hands?
Again, very forgiving. Yes, use 2 hands, please.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm just going to turn this down because I'm noticing there's a lot of heat that is
I can
coming
feel it all
from
the way
this.
over here.
Yeah, so we're just going to turn that down a bit before, and then we're just going to put. Now you can use oil or you can use butter.
And did you want more eggs?
How many do we have in there? Yeah, let's do 1 more egg.
5.
And I'm actually, you can see this is smoking, so that's a whole nother topic. We're gonna, that we don't have a fire. Can you open the, we're gonna have a fire. Where's the fire extinguisher? All right.
Oh, that was my job, wasn't it?
Yeah, I gave you that for your birthday or whatever. Okay, so I'll turn that down 5, it looks like. And we're still learning this cooktop, so that's fun. But that's the thing is that, like, if it does get too hot, take it off the burner. And then just, I'm kind of swirling it around. We're gonna talk about oils in another,
That's for another show.
That's for another show. That's our whole motto. That's for another show. But we're gonna talk about oils in another show, but really olive oil shouldn't be cooked to a smoking point. Like I just did there. Would you like to mix those up?
Can I use a fork?
We're just gonna mix those up. You can use a fork, yeah.
Okay.
And then I'm actually just gonna start cutting some things. So what do I have here? Okay, and so the important thing about this is you don't wanna mix it too much. So once it's mixed in, yes, then that's good. And then, now, there's different ways to fluff your eggs, and this is like all personal preference, but one of the ways to do it, believe it or not, is to add a little bit of water.
Is that water?
This is not water.
Okay.
This is cream that I'm adding. And that just makes it a little creamier, a little, yes, and I would just mix it very lightly. And then I will let you cut this.
That's so thick.
Yeah. So now we're gonna get our vegetables cut. And you go ahead and you're gonna start cutting. Do you need my help?
Tomato?
You can cut the tomato.
Okay.
And again, we're
Look
just
that
putting,
up?
yeah, we're just gonna put, sure.
Okay.
We're just gonna put whatever in here. So this is kind of what we had in our refrigerator, and these are just kind of leftover veggies. And you don't really have to have any specific amount of anything.
Is there a way to cut this? Like a certain way, like chopped up?
Just pretty small. Think about when you eat the frittata, you want to have little bites, right? So you don't want to have like tomatoes hanging out of your mouth.
Okay, this is a sharp knife.
We have EMS standing by.
Do you want the whole
Every single thing. Okay. And that's a good point. We probably don't want the whole tomato. I'm going to put this back on the heat. And
doing this wrong?
yeah, so if you use the whole tomato, then you start to realize, like, look how big your pan is, and you really don't want the whole thing to be made of tomato.
Okay.
So I'm really judging, I don't really have like this is a half cup of this or whatever, but I'm just really judging like what looks good, a proportion to the eggs. So I'm just going to cut a little bit of onion, and you don't have to put onion in your egg. Some people don't like onion in their egg. That's fine. Just gonna cut this up. Doesn't have to be perfect, just enough to make sure that when people bite into it, it's not a very large bite. Again, you're scraping with your knife like this.
Oh, yes.
So that it doesn't dull
So just a little bit.
your knives.
Do you want some of this? Or I just want a little bit?
Can you do some garlic there? Let's
Yes, so
put
you
some
want this
garlic
yet?
in there. Not quite yet.
Okay.
I start to think about like what things take a longer time to cook, right? So the garlic and the onion, you need to soften those. this broccoli is firm, and so that will need to cook a little bit longer. The pulp of the tomato cooks quite quickly, so we don't need to put that. Oh, I don't want to get you. We don't need to put that in right away, but we're going to start. Very nice. Okay, now a way to cut garlic so that you're not cutting yourself.
Okay.
Is to curl your fingers.
Okay.
So, and then the knife blade goes like against your fingers
Knuckles?
like that.
Okay.
Yeah, your knuckles. So that way you're not cutting your fingers.
Perfect.
But that's actually very
Don't
nice.
cut my finger.
Okay. And then I will get this. Now the herbs we're leaving, we have cilantro and parsley, and we are leaving those for the very top and the very end. And again, there's no one right way to cut these. Zucchini, this will take a little bit longer to cook. Go ahead and pop that garlic in there because that's got to go for a little bit. Okay, that's the wrong way to do it. You're going to cut your hand.
Okay, I have to cut this one first.
Oh, okay. You're very trusting with that blade.
Sorry.
That is beautiful.
You're like, hurry up.
That's perfect. And then we'll just take that and we'll put that in there, like that. Okay. And can you cut a little bit of the bell pepper?
Okay. Okay, is there a way to do this? Chop the end off?
No, just, there's no real way, just like small enough
okay?
to, yep, good. Actually, we're just gonna do half.
I knew there was a way.
Oh, right, sorry.
I knew it.
Just half of it, because we're gonna save the other half. We won't, there's already a lot of things here in the pan, so.
Now, section off. Do we cut these little seeds out?
Yep, you cut, yeah, should I do that one?
Yes.
Okay. All right, I'm just gonna cut a little bit here. And then you can kind of see how it doesn't take much time at all. You just kind of cut it up like this, and then that'll be perfect. I don't know why my way is perfect and your way is not. I don't know.
It's totally good, because you know what you're doing. That's why.
Your way is perfect. So, and then, okay, what's in here now? So,
Broccoli, onion,
yeah.
zucchini.
Yeah, so we were able to use a lot of the vegetables that we had. Yeah, it looks pretty.
Smells
Okay.
good.
And now we'll add a little bit of the tomato.
And why is this good for like diabetes and things like that?
Yeah, this is very low carb, so really the only carbs in here are the vegetables. And so
The vegetables are carbs. I thought bread was carbs.
bread is bad carbs, but vegetables are carbohydrate, but they're good carbohydrate. So
Okay.
yes, never met a bad vegetable. So
All right.
well, so there are certain things that are called vegetables that are more high carb, like potatoes or carrots
okay.
or peas, but peas have good protein. So
Okay.
yeah, broccoli has nice cruciferous vegetable, very good for detox. How long do we cook this? Really till I see things soften, but not too much.
Okay.
Would you like to do the salt and pepper?
Oh, sure. Wow.
Oh yeah, maybe I'll cut this while you're doing that.
How much? Am I
So
doing
to
wrong?
taste, like what would you put in for your family?
That'd be
yeah.
I'm a whip.
Oh,
It'd be already
okay.
spicy. It
Okay.
doesn't be too spicy.
Okay, that's perfect.
Okay.
Yeah.
More salt.
Yep, a little bit of salt. You don't want to over salt it because this is something that you can
Do you
always
like put it in your
salt.
hand and go do like that?
No, you can if you want, but
Okay.
I
Just 'cause
just
it has
kind
that
of.
funny lid. I just-
Okay, well if you're worried. Nice.
Good?
A little bit more.
Okay.
Yeah. Good. Okay,
Okay.
excellent. All right, then we're just gonna mix that up. So this is really simple salt and pepper. The things that are gonna flavor it, also the onion, the garlic, the herbs, they're gonna flavor it. And we're leaving that till the end. Would you like to cut a little cilantro? So what is the other word for cilantro? Do you remember? Coriander? Yeah, coriander. So just cutting a little bit of this. So I like to leave this for the top. I think it looks prettier, and I'm a huge fan of herbs that are not cooked too much, but you could put this right in if you like. So that looks lovely. Okay, would you like to pour now's the time to pour the eggs.
Okay.
Okay, you're hoping I'd ask you? Yeah.
Okay, no special technique?
That's the way to do it. That looks lovely. Now I am gonna put it up a little bit because I can tell that made it a little bit cold just because it's so, the eggs are cold. So we're kind of watching it bubble here. We might want to move it away from the sides a little bit just to kind of move it around. It does look good, doesn't it?
Didn't we have some feta cheese? Are you throwing that in there too?
Yeah, so that goes at the end. Thank you for reminding me, because that always happens.
I know, we forget something.
Do you do that at the dinner parties where you have like 8 different
100%.
things, and then you get
the next day you open your
next day you're like,
refrigerator
oh, I forgot the veggie tray. Right. Okay. Yeah. So I'll put a little bit of parsley, like that.
Oh, this was parsley. It wasn't cilantro.
This is the cilantro. We're going to use both. You can use both. Yeah. This is a very detoxifying herb, cilantro.
Detox. Okay. So
Detox.
the broccoli and cilantro are detox.
Yes. Okay. And now you're going to ask me when to put it in the oven, right? Because we're going to finish it off in the oven. So the idea is to really let it cook a little underneath. And you can see these little bubbles of air coming through. That's good.
Okay.
The bubbles that are here. And that just means it's cooking underneath. And sometimes I just like to do this to kind of fill some of the egg in. Because you can get to a situation once you put it under the broiler where you are burning the top of it and the middle is not cooked. So you want to make sure that the bottom is cooked.
So maybe you already said this, but we're putting this pan in the oven?
Yes, I did not already say that.
You need a pan that can both
Yo, good point. You need a pan. Absolutely. That is a great point. Yes, thank you. You need a pan that will go in the oven. And then also, it's very important to be careful that you don't grab the pan when it comes out from under the broiler, because you will burn yourself.
Do you have a favorite type of pan? You know, some they say are called Alzheimer's or whatever, the coatings. Or
yes, and that's another show, right? Yeah, I use Scan Pan because they're PFOA free, and this particular pan is a cast iron, which is also good. Okay. This is Le Creuset, as you can see.
Use on induction, because it's iron.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So,
Healthier for cooking in any way? Cast iron? Does it help the food?
Cast iron, it supposedly gets some iron into the food, as the mineral as it cooks. Okay. Yeah.
Cool.
So, and it doesn't have all of those other chemicals that you're worried about. So, okay.
How long are we cooking this for?
How long do we cook it for? Okay. In here?
No, over there.
Or over there. So here you're going to cook. See how this is kind of cooking underneath? It's still wet up top, but you can kind of tell it's cooking underneath.
Okay.
There's no specific time, but you do want to, and see when I turn the pan, it's not completely sloshing one way or the other. It started to cook at the bottom. So now I'm going to put it in the oven, and then you'll have to watch it. So I really don't, how about we don't put it in the microwave? How about we cook it in an actual oven? Here it is. I meant to bring this thing that goes around. This is going on broils, so it's going to go, thank you. That would be awesome.
Ooh, feels so good.
And then I'll put it in the middle rack so that it's not right under the broiler.
Okay, but it's on broil.
It's on broil, yes. So this is convect broil. And then what I do, you close it up because you really want that heat, circulating. And then I just turn the oven light on because I really want to watch this. Because you can burn it and you don't want to burn the egg. So what's happening now is it's just cooking on top. somewhere in the middle of it cooking in the oven, I'm gonna open it, and then I'm gonna put our little herbs. So I know we say herbs in America. The proper way to say these are herbs. The Canadians and the Europeans will be our friends if we say the H in front of it.
Nice.
This is feta. You can use no cheese. You can use Parmesan cheese. Really kind of any cheese that you like. Sheep and goat cheese tend to be a little less offensive when it comes to dairy. You don't like this though, do you?
That's fine, go for it.
Have you had it before, or you don't like
I
it?
have not had the block of feta before.
Have you had the crumbles of feta?
Yes, I don't love them, but they're fine. It'll be delicious on that. And I was going to ask, what's the difference between, you said that's on convection, not...
Convection.
You're not baking it like normal, you put it on...
Convect broil, yeah. So broil means the top one is really, like if you were to look in there, the top is really red. I'm just gonna go ahead and put these in there really quickly. And I need, yes, because that's almost done, thank you.
But does convection cook in a different way?
Sorry, I'll tell you in a second.
Okay.
I know, sometimes I can't cook and talk. Okay, so I'm just gonna put those in there at the very last minute, and you can see it's getting fluffy and a little bit brown, and that goes right before then. Okay, you had asked me the difference between convection,
Yes.
convect, bake, and broil versus regular bake and broil. So the actual difference is a convection oven circulates the air all the way through, as opposed to, and so there's a fan behind it.
Okay.
And so it's constantly circulating air, as opposed to just a regular bake or broil where there is no circulation of air. So the idea is it helps cook things faster and more thoroughly,
So why would
more
you use the
evenly.
oven?
Well, that is what we grew up with. So a lot of people are more comfortable with it.
Okay, so I should be using convection.
The convection is always faster, and it's
okay.
actually the same, you put it on the same temperature, but it's gonna cook faster. So this is actually done. We can turn this off. Still learning where the buttons are. Yeah, this is a fast and easy. You can have this for breakfast or dinner or lunch if you're inclined. And so, thank you. So this is our
Glasses, can you a little...
completed frittata.
And
And
that's a healthy breakfast.
yes, so you'll let this cool, healthy low-carb breakfast or dinner.
Looks delicious, Curry.
Thank you. And I didn't mention it, but because my vegetarian friend is here helping me cook, but you can use bacon or you can use ham, and you would cook that. You could even use last night's steak to put in there. So if you want to do meat in your frittata, that's perfectly acceptable and yummy. And you would put that in right after the onions and garlic. You'd go ahead and put your meat in, and then you would you'd put the vegetables on it. So anyways, try this out. Let me know what you think, and I hope you enjoy it. Thanks for cooking with us today.